All right, so we've officially kicked off our project on December 26th, the day after Christmas. We were in the comfort of our family's vacation home in Truckee, and Ray's team was tearing our house to bits.
Yeah, it was nice because they installed a camera too, so we get to watch it during basically Christmas spirit vacation with family, enjoying good food, and then we're looking at a house, and it's just really fast being torn apart.
And very quickly it went from the home we remember to kind of a clean slate with a bunch of old wood and a big open space.
And today is
March the 5th, and it looks drastically different. So right now they put up, actually the big thing today is they put the beam up, which we've been here for several weeks looking at stuff, anticipating that, and it's finally happened, and it looks so much different. So right now we're actually sitting where there was a wall for my son's bedroom. His bed was right about here, and there was a wall right here. And there used to be our heater right about here or so. For a while we had our TV on this wall, and we shifted over there years ago. But now there's nothing, and there's this huge beam that splits our house in half and allows us to have this huge open space. I'm a therapist, so I communicate maybe too much. I do talk for a living, and I communicate a lot via the chat that Ray has set up with our team. And Ray's very patient with us, with me, and communicates pretty much daily.
It's pretty much daily communication. Usually on Sundays we get an overview for the week ahead, which is really helpful to understand what is being planned and what are kind of the key goals for that week.
Yeah, he sends us pictures too, which has been very fun. Just recently he sent us the photos of them pouring the footings, and they were here all day, and it was really, really exciting to watch that process and not have to lift a finger. So I think what I'm most satisfied with and what I'm finding the most pleasure with is the process that Ray continues to include us in that. He's a very, very patient man to support us in this project because we're pretty indecisive with things, and once we see something we like, we also get very stubborn about wanting it, and there's a lot of components that he has helped us find solutions for that I'm very, very grateful for.
For me, I think the satisfying part is starting to see it come to life, because initially there's a lot of uneasy feelings about seeing your home being torn apart and walls being taken off, like just a lot of exposed beams. And so now you're starting to see, especially I think drastically today when they put up this beam and it opened up the space, I can start really, really imagining it and seeing it. And I think that's the most satisfying part for me. What I've noticed definitely is the Ray and his team are really, really fast, and that's an incredible thing to see. Sometimes in a matter of a day there could be huge changes, and especially since Patrick and I have been doing projects ourselves for pretty much since we've owned this house for 10 years, and how long it took us to complete certain projects, and seeing how sometimes it literally feels that it just happens in no time. I think that's been really impressive to me.
Yeah, by the time we finish thinking what we've done, Ray's already done it, which is pretty incredible. The city's actually slowed him down more than anything else.
The city, definitely. The permits in the city, definitely.
If there was an obstacle, I know we'd be pretty much done by now. What I've really enjoyed working with Ray, what I see as a huge strength, is his level of professionalism. He's not only just a nice person to talk to, very pleasant, but he brings that to everything he does. And we've had some pretty big challenges in the project. It's a project that have stressed us out, but we've seen him navigate it very, very skillfully, and we know it's stressing him out. It has to be stressing him out because he's managing this project. But it's been a pleasure to work with him and his team. They're always so happy and smiling. They welcome us when we come to our what's left of our house, and very patient with just showing us what's going on. So one challenge, one of the many challenges we've had to address, is about midway through the project, our Title 24 report, the person making that report had some feedback for us that wasn't consistent with what we thought it would be, and that impacted our crazy plans to have the insulation on the exterior of the house on the roof, as well as the heat pump, and there was the windows and doors that we've already purchased. So we have beautiful doors that we purchased that we have to use a certain process to get into the Title 24 report, and they're in the garage now. The problem is that the report that we got back was suggesting that they weren't quite meeting that, and so we'd have to make some possible changes. We talked to Ray about it. We figured out that we want to keep the roof design the way it is because that was an important thing that we were striving for. And Ray was able to somehow, in a matter of about half a day, work that out, and it just got fixed. I'm not sure what he did or how he did it. So we have a few things that are pending. The biggest one is wrapping up demo, which means peeling off the roof. It's been raining, so it's not the greatest time to take your roof off your house. So I know Ray has been waiting for that window. We hope to have that window next week. So once that happens, all this big pile of foam in the back goes on the roof, and that cleans up some of the yard. But then it's windows and doors, which is going to be such a big change. It'll start to look like a house again. We'll be able to actually see out instead of just looking through plywood.
It's been sometimes difficult for me, just from just that human aspect, to deal with either some of the delays or when there's challenges arise, and sometimes it can be even emotional, right? When you feel that either the project is delayed and or potentially certain things might not happen, and definitely can feel very, very unsettling. And I think that, working with Ray, some of the things we already said about him specifically, his personality, his professionalism, how he already dealt with challenges, and it's sometimes literally in a matter of half a day, pretty significantly challenging situations were resolved, and like as if there was no challenge. So I think that over time has built my confidence. I think also now that, especially when the city permits came through, I'm really seeing how fast things are starting to change, how the house is shaping up, how I'm starting to be in that giddy phase again of like, I can see this. I can see this, and it's starting to be again exciting, because for a bit, because it was about almost a month delay altogether, they were still doing some stuff, but it felt like not much was changing, and so I think that there was that anxiety creeping in.
Yeah. Ray also just conveys confidence. Like even when there's challenges, he has something he says, I can't remember it, but it's basically something to the effect of that there is a way, we'll figure it out. And he always ends with that. Even if it's a big challenge, if we're wrapping for the day, we have no solution yet, it's like, there's a way, we'll figure it out. I would say that the process has given me confidence that we're getting there, and I don't see a better team to have done it with.
It's interesting, whenever you start a big project, people who have done it before you, they always tell you it's like it always takes longer, it's more expensive. And I think that both Patrick and I were using those exact words when we were even planning, but somehow I realized that there was a little part of me is like, well, it's not gonna be us. Like especially when we moved out in December and we had a time frame for the completion of the project, and I was preparing myself there might be delays, but still like, no, it's gonna happen. And so I think that those expectations of like when there's a time frame laid out, when there's a budget that you already feel emotionally and also just by from financial perspective committed to, anytime that there is changes, it's always a little bit of a challenge and an adjustment. But I think what we've also learning to go through this process is that that we also becoming stronger through it, and then kind of having that confidence in Ray and his teams that makes us also feel comfortable that we can finish. And like sometimes people say that if the marriage can survive remodel or something along the lines, like what is the phrase that people say?
We're doing okay is
what are we doing?
We're
doing okay. Even though there's definitely expectations and then not always met, or at least maybe not in the way that you initially imagined, but it kind of works out and you are better for it, basically.
So obviously at the end of the day, you have to afford your project. And so Ray was pretty good about outlining in the beginning, like the realistic expectations for our project, and redirected us towards a more realistic version of our project, which is what we're getting now, which for many reasons we like actually better. The cost was set and fixed, and Ray assured us of that, which we had doubts about because everyone always says, expect 10 to 15% more. But Ray has been excellent about communicating challenges and sticking to budget. If anything, if there's price increases, it's been because we made choices. So I really like doing this stuff. So if I had the option, I'd be here every day, all day, hanging out. I really enjoy the process of building things with my hands, and I like participating in this activity to get to this joint goal. Whether Ray likes that as much, I'm not quite sure. But he's definitely tolerated and allowed us to come on site. Where I'm pretty much here every day in the mornings or afternoons, just kind of taking a peek at things. I was definitely more involved in the beginning, but realized that was really stressful, so I'm trying to back off a little bit. I know Ray's going to do what he needs to do. His team is going to follow the plans and the intent we have for our home, so I had to give them the space to do that.
We are super excited, and actually today was probably one of the most profound days so far, because we walked in here to do this filming and they put up this beam, and I just realized that this open space, and it just looked, I mean, obviously it's still under construction, but I can see it and it's amazing, and I can't wait to put up beautiful doors and windows in, to have the stucco, to start doing the finishing work inside. It's so exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it was shocking to see them peel the house apart, but inspiring to walk in today to see the huge space that they've given us. It's very, very exciting.